Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of surprising someone. Attack by storm. Attack suddenly. A sudden unexpected event. Cause to be surprised. The news really surprised me. Come upon or take unawares. She surprised the couple. The astonishment you feel when something totally unexpected happens to you. The act of surprising someone. Behave violently, as if in state of a great anger. Attack by storm. Attack suddenly. A violent commotion or disturbance. The storms that had characterized their relationship had died away. A violent weather condition with winds 64 to 72 knots, 11 on the Beaufort scale, and precipitation and thunder and lightning. Take by force. A direct and violent assault on a stronghold. Blow hard. It was storming all night. Rain, hail, or snow hard and be very windy, often with thunder or lightning. If it storms, we'll need shelter. A disposition that is confused or nervous and upset. Activity that is a malfunction, intrusion, or interruption. The term distress connotes some degree of perturbation and emotional upset. The act of causing disorder. An unhappy and worried mental state. Physics, a secondary influence on a system that causes it to deviate slightly. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. A disorderly outburst or tumult. An event that results in a displacement or discontinuity. The act of causing disorder. Attack in speech or writing. Launch an attack or assault on. Begin hostilities or start warfare with. Serbian forces assailed Bosnian towns all week. Attack someone physically or emotionally. Nightmares assailed him regularly. Ideas or actions intended to deal with a problem or situation. An attack on inflation. Attack in speech or writing. The editors of the left-leaning paper attacked the new House Speaker. Military, an offensive against an enemy, using weapons. The attack began at dawn. Take the initiative and go on the offensive. The Serbs attacked the village at night. A decisive manner of beginning a musical tone or phrase. Intense adverse criticism. The government has come under attack. Launch an attack or assault on. Begin hostilities or start warfare with. Hitler attacked Poland on September 1, 1939 and started World War II. Attack someone physically or emotionally. The act of attacking. Attacks on women increased last year. An offensive move in a sport or game. They won the game with a 10-hit attack in the 9th inning. A sudden occurrence of an uncontrollable condition. An attack of diarrhea. Begin to injure. The cancer cells are attacking his liver. Set to work upon. Turn one's energies vigorously to a task. I attacked the problem as soon as I got out of bed. Strong criticism. He published an unexpected attack on my work. The onset of a corrosive or destructive process, as by a chemical agent. The film was sensitive to attack by acids. The act of making something different, as e.g. the size of a garment. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The neighborhood had undergone few modifications since his last visit years ago. The grammatical relation that exists when a word qualifies the meaning of the phrase. Slightly modified copy. Not an exact copy. A modification of last year's model. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. The act of making something different, as e.g. the size of a garment. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The act of revising or altering, involving reconsideration and modification. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Reproduce by printing. Mark or stamp with or as if with pressure. To make a batik, you impress a design with wax. Dye, fabric, before it is spun. Take someone against his will for compulsory service, especially on board a ship. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. This child impressed me as unusually mature. The act of coercing someone into government service. Produce or try to produce a vivid impression of. Impress positively. The young chess player impressed her audience. Drive something violently into a location. A conspicuous success. A gentle blow. A score in 10 pins, knocking down all 10 with the first ball. He finished with 3 strikes in the 10th frame. Make a strategic, offensive, assault against an enemy, opponent, or a target. We must strike the enemy's oil fields. Affect or afflict suddenly, usually adversely. Touch or seem as if touching visually or audibly. Find unexpectedly. Remove by erasing or crossing out or as if by drawing a line. Please strike this remark from the record. Cause to experience suddenly. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Form by stamping, punching, or printing. Strike coins. Smooth with a strickle. A group's refusal to work in protest against low pay or bad work conditions. The strike lasted more than a month before it was settled. Stop work in order to press demands. Produce by manipulating keys or strings of musical instruments. The pianist strikes a middle C. Occupy or take on. Strike a pose. Hit against. Come into sudden contact with. Attain. An attack that is intended to seize or inflict damage on or destroy an objective. The strike was scheduled to begin at dawn. Arrive at after reckoning, deliberating, and weighing. Strike a balance. baseball. A pitch that the batter swings at and misses, or that the batter hits into foul territory, or that the batter does not swing it but the umpire judges to be in the area over home plate and between the batter's knees and shoulders. This pitcher throws more strikes than balls. Cause to form an electric arc between electrodes of an arc lamp. Strike an arc. Deliver a sharp blow, as with the hand, fist, or weapon. The opponent refused to strike. Disassemble a temporary structure, such as a tent or a theatrical set. After the show, we'll have to strike the set and pack up. Indicate a certain time by striking. Pierce with force. Produce by ignition or a blow. Strike fire from the flintstone. Have an effect upon. Will the new rules affect me? Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Connect closely and often incriminatingly. This new ruling affects your business. Make believe with the intent to deceive. Act physically on. Have an effect upon. The medicine affects my heart rate. The conscious subjective aspect of feeling or emotion. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. The feeling that accompanies something extremely surprising. The feeling that accompanies something extremely surprising. He looked at me in astonishment. A dramatic surprise. A highly successful theatrical production. A sensational bit of stagecraft. A sudden and unexpected change of fortune or reverse of circumstances, especially in a literary work. A peripeteia swiftly turns a routine sequence of events into a story worth telling. Make a mess of, destroy or ruin. Be in motion due to some air or water current. The leaves were blowing in the wind. An impact, as from a collision. A strong current of air. Spend thoughtlessly. Throw away. Provide sexual gratification through oral stimulation. An unfortunate happening that hinders or impedes, something that is thwarting or frustrating. melt, break, or become otherwise unusable. An unpleasant or disappointing surprise. Show off. Leave. Informal or rude. Let's blow this place. Street names for cocaine. Be inadequate or objectionable. This blows. Forceful exhalation through the nose or mouth. He gave his nose a loud blow. Allow to regain its breath. Blow a horse. A powerful stroke with the fist or a weapon. A blow on the head. Be blowing or storming. Burst suddenly. Cause air to go in, on, or through. Cause to be revealed and jeopardized. The double agent was blown by the other side. Cause to move by means of an air current. Exhale hard. Blow on the soup to cool it down. Free of obstruction by blowing air through. Blow one's nose. Lay eggs. Certain insects are said to blow. Make a sound as if blown. Play or sound a wind instrument. Shape by blowing. Sound by having air expelled through a tube. Spend lavishly or wastefully on. Spout moist air from the blowhole. A shocking surprise. News of the attack came like a bombshell. An entertainer who has a sensational effect. She was a blonde bombshell. An explosive bomb or artillery shell. A sudden and unexpected change of fortune or reverse of circumstances, especially in a literary work. A sudden and unexpected change of fortune or reverse of circumstances, especially in a literary work. The violent interaction of individuals or groups entering into combat. The armies met in the shock of battle. A sudden jarring impact. All the jars and jolts were smoothed out by the shock absorbers. Surprise greatly. Knock someone's socks off. A mechanical damper. Absorbs energy of sudden impulses. The old car needed a new set of shocks. A reflex response to the passage of electric current through the body. Subjects received a small electric shock when they made the wrong response. An unpleasant or disappointing surprise. It came as a shock to learn that he was injured. An instance of agitation of the Earth's crust. The first shock of the earthquake came shortly after noon while workers were at lunch. The feeling of distress and disbelief that you have when something bad happens accidentally. He was numb with shock. Inflict a trauma upon. Strike with disgust or revulsion. The scandalous behavior of this married woman shocked her friends. A bushy thick mass, especially hair. He had an unruly shock of black hair. A pile of sheaves of grain set on end in a field to dry. Stalks of Indian corn set up in a field. Corn is bound in small sheaves and several sheaves are set up together in shocks. Collect or gather into shocks. Shock grain. Collide violently. Pathology. Bodily collapse or near collapse caused by inadequate oxygen delivery to the cells, characterized by reduced cardiac output and rapid heartbeat and circulatory insufficiency and pallor. Loss of blood is an important cause of shock. strike with horror or terror. The news of the bombing shocked her. Subject to electrical shocks. A very attractive or seductive-looking woman. An unexpected and amazing event. The stunner was what happened on Saturday. A shocking surprise. A discharge of lightning accompanied by thunder. A shocking surprise. A single sharp crash of thunder. An alcoholic drink intended to wake one up early in the morning. Something surprising and revealing. Surprise greatly. Knock someone's socks off. Be a mystery or bewildering to. Affect with wonder. Your ability to speak 6 languages amazes me. Affect with wonder.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.